Welcome back to Light Talk, where everyday people can share their own unique spiritual journey stories. And if you have any stories you would like to share, email lighttalk423 at gmail.com. And while you're at it, click on the like, share, and subscribe buttons. Well, today's guest is kind of unique for me. He kind of helped me get started on the podcasting stuff. And I'm really thankful that he's going to be on the show. And I'm going to let him introduce himself, him and his wife.
Hi, Dana. This is Paranormal Paul. I've been doing podcasting for quite a while now, and the paranormal stuff since last March of 23. You can find my channel, Paranormal Among Us, on YouTube. And joining me is my beautiful wife, Tammy.
Hello.
She was actually the first one to have an encounter between the two of us. I've always I've always loved and been interested in the paranormal and believed in all that stuff, but I had never had anything happen to me until I started doing this stuff. But it was several years ago when she had an encounter. I wasn't even home at the time.
Yep. So we had probably been in this house, maybe it was within the year that we moved in.
We've been here about 20 years.
Yeah. And at that time, Paul was working overnight. So we had one dog at the time and two cats. So in the middle of the night, if you've ever had a pet, you know that sound when they're about ready to barf up their guts. So that woke me up, and you jump into action. So the cat was making that noise. So, and we have, so there's a bedroom like diagonal from our bedroom. So that's where the cat was. So I ran in there, cats puked all over. So clean that up. It's the middle of the night, probably 1 or 2 in the morning. Cleaned up the cat puke. And then as I'm going back to the bedroom, our bedroom is right up the steps and to the right. So the way our steps are, you've got a set of steps, there's a landing, and then a set of steps going up that way. And our bedroom is over here. So I'm coming from the bedroom that's directly across from the steps back into our bedroom. And it's dark, but we have night lights. So there's a little bit of light showing. And as I'm walking into our bedroom, I see a man in a long black coat with a big black hat just kind of coming up the steps. And I wasn't scared, but I remember saying, "What?" And then he was gone. So I've always called him the Amish man because I never saw his face, but he was dressed like Amish men with their like long black coats or jackets and that big black hat. So we always just said, "Oh, the Amish man, visited." And anytime, like a light would go out or something, "Oh, the Amish man is here." Um, but then come to find out, as Paul starts doing this Paranormal Paul podcast, he talked to someone who was kind of describing the same figure. And he found out that person or that entity was called the Hat Man. And he described it exactly how I described it before Paul even told him my story.
Yeah, his story was that I believe it was Daniel Jackson, Spirit Daniel or whatever he goes by. But he was telling me about an encounter that he had with the Hat Man. Like it was in the corner of his bedroom and kind of hovered over his bed and everything. And the way he described it, I wish I could pull that video back up and see my face because I'm but from what I understand, and I've done a little research, and before when this first happened, we did a lot of research and looking for the history of the land that we're living
Yeah.
on now, and there really wasn't any Amish settlements or anything around here, or I was looking for any kind of odd things, and no, it was just a big pile of rocks
Mhm.
where we're at now. But when Daniel was telling me this, I'm like, holy cow! And then I quick ran down and told her, and then the more I'm kind of looking into the Hat Man stuff, it's kind of it can be a negative entity, but when it has the red eyes looking at you, that signifies death is coming. Luckily, it didn't have any red eyes when she saw
Yeah, I did
Wow.
not see I didn't see a face or anything like that. No red eyes. So,
Well,
and that
that's
was
a good sign then.
it. Yeah. But for years we were just saying, "Oh, the Amish guy," and we're just kind of,
yeah.
not making fun of it, but just kind of playing it off as something kind of odd and funny that happened here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, come to find out, it's could have been an evil spirit that was here.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Now, I had a shadow in my room one time, and when I turned around to look at it, it had like a cape of a vampire cape on. And when I turned to look at him, he moved quickly and the cape was waving in the wind
Oh wow.
when
Mhm.
he left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, when you turn to look at them, they're always gone. They don't like you to
Yeah.
Yeah.
look at them, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think they want to be seen. So they just, lurk in the dark corners and
Yeah.
mounts they show themselves. So yeah.
Yeah.
Luckily it was nothing bad. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank God.
yeah. But that was kind of the first thing that launched my interest in it, at least in the near future. And then it just kind of took off from there. And boy, do I have some stories now.
Yeah. So now you're doing some investigations yourself in haunted houses, right? Haunted places.
I've gone to three locations, and ironically, I've had things happen in each location. She's not leaving. Our dog just wants to go outside.
Oh.
Um, so the first one was at a place called Ashmore Estates in Ashmore, Illinois, and there was a room there. It's a boiler room that has a ghost of a guy who doesn't like women. So naturally, I went down there and just to see what was going on. I had one of those dead bells in my hand, and I was recording it on my phone, I believe. And I'm asking it questions, and it's ringing the dead bell. So I didn't think anything of it, and just a couple rings in the dead bell. We heard like a rock or something being thrown further down in the room. Um, but then when I was, and really nothing much happened later that night. We got some EVPs and some other dead bell things and stuff, and cat balls lit up. But when I was listening to the audio again, I could hear, I heard myself, obviously, I heard the questions and I heard the dead bell going off. And then all of a sudden, I heard somebody whisper, "We're watching," which was, I mean, it's clear as day. We didn't hear it
Yeah.
when we were there in the moment, but I mean, it was clear as day on the video. But that was pretty interesting. And then a couple months after that, I went to Ray County Museum in Richmond, Missouri, and got scratched in one of the rooms. And that was even on camera. That there was three of us not anywhere near each other.
Oh
And one of the
my.
guys over here saw something behind me, like a mist or something on the table behind me. And next thing I know, I felt something brush against my leg. Didn't burn, nothing, just kind of cold breeze or something. And I looked down and there was five finger marks going up my leg.
Wow.
So
Were they scars? Did they scar?
no,
Or
no, it was just like a scratch, just
just a
like
scratch?
yeah. But I mean, it didn't burn. No blood was drawn or anything, and I really think that they were. So apparently, in this room, there was a cabinet that the spirits like to open and close on their own. And I had it
Okay.
open, and we were communicating with him, and I kept saying, "Can you close this door?"
Hmm.
And we would get things back that on the spirit box that said no, and then get out. And I kept saying, "No, I want you to close this thing." So I really think that it was somebody saying, "You know what? We're the boss, not you. Here is your warning. You better start thinking about what you're talking about and get out." So it happened, and then I got out. So we never did close.
Okay, you proved
Yeah,
it.
don't need to tell me twice. But it wasn't an evil scratch. If it were an evil one, it would have been three, and it would have burned probably. And I really think it was just them telling me that, look, we live
We don't
here,
want you here.
we're the boss, we don't want you here. Ironically, I'm going back at the end of this month, so we'll see if they remember me and if anything happens after that. So,
Yeah, just be careful.
oh yeah, I always wear my cross. I always have what somebody said a long time ago is, I asked them about protection and stuff, what I
Mhm.
need to do to protect myself so I don't have any crazy attachments, because she always said, you can go on all these ghost investigations as you want, just don't bring anything back. And I'm like, okay. So I don't want
Yeah,
anything to attach to me or anything.
me
So
neither.
they,
Yeah.
they just, I've heard more than one person say, whatever you think would protect you is what you take with you. There's really nothing definite that would help you over anything else. So I always keep my dad's rosary with me, because I know mom and dad would never let anything hurt me, or grandma and grandpa or anything like that. So
There you
I always
go.
do that and say a few prayers to them before I do anything.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, I mean, I feel, and it was weird. I had never done it before. I'm trying to get her to go to one too.
Well, you should
Um,
try
yeah,
it.
I might.
yeah.
Okay.
I was kind of expecting it to be kind of freaky and kind of scary, but if you show your fear, that's when they'll pounce
Hmm.
on you. So I mean, you have to walk
Hmm.
through it with some kind of confidence, saying that you can make things move, you can make sound or whatever, but you're not getting to me. I'm
Right.
protected. You can't get to me. So I mean, if you show that confidence, I think that you'll be okay.
Yeah. I'm still wanting to go on one. I haven't been on one yet, but at
They're
least one
fun.
I want to go on.
I tell you, they're pretty addicting. I mean, after the one in Asheville, I'm like, yeah, we're going to do this again. Uh, but I mean, they're really fun, and I would just suggest, find one. I wouldn't go by yourself.
No,
Um, Grab
no,
a
definitely.
few people and try to find one that's not demonic. So, but yeah, that's it's definitely fun.
Yeah, I've got one person that is looking to move to Denver. So I'm hoping to maybe get her
Hmm.
and some other people to go with me and check out some places here in Loveland. And because we do have a railroad station that's supposed to have a little boy that hangs around,
Oh,
Yeah.
and
wow.
across the street that's supposed to have a bunch of action in this other building. It's a Legion's
Hmm.
building or something like that. But
Just
it's
be
supposed to have a
careful
lot of action.
with the little the children spirits, because demons like to portray themselves as little kids to gain your trust, and then they will attack. So just be careful with that.
Okay. Yeah, that's why I
Cool.
want to go with somebody else that knows what they're doing. And
Yeah,
because I
yeah.
know I'm not going to do it on my own yet.
And that's the funny thing. When I was in Ashmore, it was with a bunch of experienced people, but it was just me and this other gal who we had never done this before, and we were just wandering around, and really no one was kind of watching us. So, we were talking to these people, so these spirits and stuff, and there was really nothing negative there. But and you really didn't get an eerie feeling either, any room in that building. But at Ray County, it's a two-story building with a basement. part of the basement had a kind of a creepy vibe. You know how when you walk into something, it kind of feel like something's watching you
Creepy.
or really creepy.
Yeah.
Um, but and it's shaped kind of like a Y almost. Um, and when you go up to the top floor, if you go down the right wing, whatever it is, you're fine. But
Mhm.
then when you go down this other side, the second you cross the beginning of the hallway, you instantly feel, I don't want to say negative energy, but it changes. And that's where down the hall that way, that's where I got scratched.
Oh,
But
wow.
not to make it worse, there was all kinds of mannequins in the hallway and in some rooms. And late at night, we're walking through there during the day, and I'm looking at these things. And I'm like, this is gonna just walking. I'm gonna forget they're there, and just turn the corner. I'm gonna see a mannequin. I'm gonna flip out. But
That'll be fun.
yeah, but you know, they were fine. But that kind of added to the creep factor a little bit. But you
Right.
know, yeah. But
Right.
there was
Well,
nothing negative. Just somebody that just was boss, and I didn't listen to him.
yeah. Yeah. Basements have always been creepy, though. Have they been for you or either one of you?
Eh,
Some basements, like my grandmother's basement. She lived in brick
Mm.
house in the city, and it was an unfinished basement. It had that basement smell and the basement temperature and just kind of a creepy basement vibe. Your old house on Delore,
yeah.
that I was creeped out by that basement too, but not all, just some. Yeah.
Yeah.
For
My
some reason,
grandma's basement was the same. That one
Yeah.
creeped me out. Never
Like you
liked
go
going down
down
there.
there and
Mm.
even if all the lights are on, then you do whatever you need to do down there, and then you run up the steps like, oh my God.
Yep. I know it. I know
Yes.
it.
Uh-huh.
I remember doing that as a kid in the house that I grew up in. That I would get what I wanted, and I would sprint up the stairs. I
Yeah.
would hit the light switch, and bam, I was upstairs. And yeah, the house I used to live in, that kind of creeped me out. And
Yeah.
even here, every now and then the basement kind of creeps me out. It's a finished basement, so there's no real creep factor down there, except the one room where I keep all the mannequins.
Yeah.
Um, we
Same.
decorate. We de we decorate for Halloween, and
Yeah.
I have
Oh,
some mannequins
oh, I
downstairs.
saw that. I saw that on Facebook. Oh my goodness, you guys went all out for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we love it,
We
and
usually do.
the kids around the neighborhood love it too. And
Yeah.
when we see them either walk by with their parents or drive by, and the parents stop and say, "Hey, you mind if we take a look?" I'm like, "Sure, that's why we do it."
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that makes it all worthwhile.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I don't know what it is about basements and the cold, dark. I don't know. I mean, I get that still.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
actually, so she had the Hat Man thing upstairs, and downstairs, I was working out or doing something, and all of a sudden I smelled my dad's cologne drift
Oh,
by.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, nothing freaky, but I smelled that, and I'm like, Dad? And I kept saying, give me another sign, give me another sign that you're here. Um, and actually, something that just happened
Oh yeah.
Friday night.
Friday night.
So I had my cousins over, so it was my dad's side of the family. And over in our sink that's actually behind this computer here, we have one of those rubber stops that you put in the sink to keep the water from going down the drain.
Uh-huh.
And all of a sudden it fell off the counter into the sink. And the only thing that vibrates the sink is the garbage disposal, and that wasn't on. And I mean, there was people walking around, and after it fell, I put it back up on the ledge, and I'm jumping, and I'm kind of hitting the counter. It didn't move. So, of course, my reaction was that might have been my dad saying, "Hey, I
I'm
didn't get
here
invited. Yeah,
too.
I'm here too. I didn't get invited, but I'm here too."
Yeah.
I couldn't debunk that. I couldn't get that to move without physically touching it. or turning the garbage disposal on, and it was not on. So yeah,
Wow,
yeah,
that's
that was
pretty crazy.
yeah.
Yeah, my son, he has had dreams of Goat Man
Oh,
here in our basement, and this is where I'm
Mhm.
at now, is in our basement. But yeah, that's kind of messed up because I haven't had any real scary things happen to me down here or anything. It's just that weird feeling.
yeah,
It's a basement feeling, I
yeah.
don't know what
Yep.
else to call it, it's just kind
I
of
mean,
strange.
that's what
Yeah.
it is. I mean, they're semi underground, at least here in St. Louis, they are.
Mhm.
Here
Um,
too.
yeah. So there's I'm sure there's all kinds of energy in the ground too, and
Mhm.
who knows what's around it. So yeah, I get
Yeah,
that.
true, true.
Yeah.
A house that I grew up in had a basement like that. It was kind of finished, but it wasn't. It was like this huge open area. The whole basement was pretty much one open area, but it had tile and it had walls and but one open area. But it was that scared me. I don't know how I ended up moving down there to sleep for a while, but I did. And yeah, it always creeped me out. I got down there kind of like you, I get down there, do my thing, and get up as
Yeah.
quick as possible.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know that I can handle doing a paranormal show in the basement. Well, I did live from those haunted locations, so but yeah, this is week in, week out. I don't know if I could do that. Talking about stuff, and all of a sudden you hear something knocking the behind you.
Yeah, what's
So
that?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're really enjoying all of these different experiences
Oh yeah. I
with
mean,
it.
it's now that I'm starting to have some experiences and kind of thinking back to maybe childhood or my past, not my past life, but before I started all this stuff, maybe I did have encounters that I didn't realize. Um, One was actually that I don't know if I was dreaming or not, but I was in the house that I lived in before we met. Um, my bedroom was right by the basement steps, and the basement door opened. I heard footsteps, and the door opened. I'm getting chills thinking about it. Um,
It
and
happened then.
but I don't know if I was dreaming this or not. I mean, it was a
Mhm.
pretty vivid dream, but I don't remember if I was or not. So I'm not gonna say that I had that encounter, but it was kind of weird.
I say
Um,
you did since you got the chills just now. I say you
yeah.
did.
Oh, and another
It
thing that
happened.
happened to us, it was last football season during the playoffs. I think it was probably January and stuff. And so we're the behind this computer right here is our kitchen, and to the right is the kitchen, to the left is our family room where the TV is. And I was sitting over here watching football. I was snuggling with one of our dogs on the couch, and the TV was on. Tammy was over here making dinner, and all of a sudden, I we both heard it.
Mhm.
Somebody whispered, "Oh my God!" And so we do have some speakers in the ceiling, but they weren't on at the time because we have to actually physically push a button to turn them on, and they weren't on. The TV's not even connected to them. Um, so I kind of perk up and look over in the corner over here, and I'm like, "Did you say something, honey?" And she said, "No, I thought you said something." So we both heard somebody say, "Oh
Mhm.
my God," in kind of a whisper.
Yeah.
We didn't. I didn't recognize the voice.
Mhm.
Did you? Yeah.
No.
So somebody was watching football and rooting, and something that the team that they didn't like, something happened to it. Oh my God, I don't know. So yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah.
My husband is kind of on the fence. He's kind of where you are, a little bit more on the fence than you now. But we went on a walk a few weeks ago and we clean up the streets and all. Every once in a while, we'll take some bags and we'll just pick up the trash. And that's what we were doing. And we got to this one part and it was on a corner and there was a bush on it and then the house. And I normally wear cargo shorts. And so when we got to the spot, I heard this hello, and it sounded like it was in my cargo shorts on the bottom pocket there. But the thing is, I didn't have pockets on at that time.
Oh, wow.
And we quickly turned around and kind of looked behind me for anybody, and I didn't see anybody. And I go, "Did you hear that?" to my husband. And he turns around and he's like looking everywhere. There's no cars around, there was no people around, there's nothing. And he goes, "Yeah, loud and clear."
Wow.
He goes,
Yeah,
"You didn't say that?" I'm like, "No, it came from my pocket. I don't have
yeah,
pockets."
Wow.
yeah. And something like that happens when some maybe a non-believer or somebody who's on the fence, like you said, that'll get them to change their mind real
Yeah.
quick.
Yeah, and he's actually witnessed a few things with me. So, I mean, he's starting to, hey, this stuff might be a
Yeah,
little bit out there, but
yeah.
I'm gonna
And
go with it a little bit here.
I believe that it's all around us. I mean, you
Hmm.
don't have to look far to find anything.
Oh,
Somebody once said that, it's not really hunting because they're all around you.
Mhm.
So, I
right.
mean,
It's
so
just opening up.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think since I started doing this, I have opened up and things have been happening. And I don't know if I'm seeing things or wishing I'm seeing things, but every now and then out of the corner of my eye, I think I see something moving, but nothing's there. So, I mean,
Yeah, I'm the same
I'm
way,
not,
but with my glasses, I can't tell if it's
yeah,
glare off my glasses or if I'm actually seeing
yeah.
anything.
And another thing is, I don't know if you have pets or anything, but if dogs, look like, start staring off in one
Mhm.
space or quickly turn their head and see something, what are they looking at?
Mhm.
Yeah,
And young
I know a
children.
spirit in my house.
Yeah,
What was that,
Mhm.
Tammy?
Young children too,
yeah.
because our son saw my dad one day in our bedroom. He was probably 3 at the time. And again, Paul was at work. So it was early in the morning, and our son came in and, got in bed with me. And I had my back to the windows, and then our son was looking at me, and he said, "Why is that man standing there?" And I was like, "Who got in the house?" Like my heart just stopped, and I'm like, "What
Right.
man?" And he said, "The man with the puffer." And my dad smoked, and so he passed away about 3 weeks before Paul and I got married. So he never met our son. But we've shown him pictures, and in a lot of the pictures, my dad had a cigarette. So I don't know how our son like started calling it a puffer, but he called a cigarette a puffer, and he said, "The man with the puffer, he's standing right over there." So, and I turned and I didn't see anything. So, but I mean, it was very clear to him that my dad was standing there. So
And
I
he
think young
recognized him
kids,
from the, oh, I'm sorry.
no, it's okay. Go ahead.
So he recognized this man from pictures.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And did he call it a puffer
My
when he
dad?
was alive?
No. Mm-mm.
Oh,
No.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if, just puffing smoke, or, I don't know how he started calling it that, but he said it's the man with the puffer. So,
Wow.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. My son, I don't remember him doing anything when he was younger. But oh, my dog does. Oh my, she looks at all the time. She's always looking at something.
Yeah.
And the other day she was looking at something. It's like, oh, I'm going to get my spirit talker out. So I got that out. And um,
Yeah.
so it was actually Jesus that had come through, and my dog was watching.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, so I'm like, okay. So I get my pendulum out. I was have a second opinion about this.
Mhm.
So I got my pendulum out and was asking if this was Jesus and everything that was in the room with me, and it said yes. So,
Hmm.
Wow.
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 so
Well,
that was pretty cool.
if you
Yeah.
had someone at your house, that's the one to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, I know. It's like, you're here, no,
Yeah.
no problem.
Yeah.
Welcome
Yeah.
anytime.
I'm kind of leery. I have a recorder, and I'm kind of leery to get that out here and see what if there's anything. Try to communicate with anything here. I'm just kind of leery about that, but maybe one day I'll
Yeah,
break.
yeah, yeah. I kind of do it sometimes, at work, I'll try and pull it out and do something. And I had a couple weeks ago, I had a couple people that sound like it was in the room, and they're like, okay, you need to leave. And I'm like, okay, I'm out. Don't tell me twice. So
Yep.
it's like, I'm just going to leave you alone. I'm going to finish my lunch and I'll just leave you alone. And
Yep.
yeah,
Did you say, "Hey,
that was,
wait, it's my house. You go. It's
I'm getting paid to be here at work. Yeah.
yeah, I'm getting paid for this, but this is just a conference room. So I'll just let you mingle around. I'm just going to finish my lunch and
I'll lay at my desk.
yeah, see you later. Well, thank you two so much for being on the show. It's been a real
Hey, no
pleasure
problem.
having you here and
No
hearing
problem.
your
yeah.
experiences. Yeah, and
Hey, thanks for inviting us.
Yeah.
of course, you'll have to let me know when you get some more experiences behind you, and if Tammy goes on your hunts with you,
We'll see.
you'll get some.
I'll lock her in a room and see what happens.
This is why I don't go.
No, I won't.
Be nice now.
Oh, I will. I'll protect you.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you do that. Well, you guys have fun and be safe doing it and get some more experiences for us.
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right. Well, if anyone else out there has any stories you would like to share, email lighttalk423@gmail.com and let's get you on the show. All right. We'll talk to everybody next time. Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.